study guide is covering linear models and tables. And the first thing we're looking at is a qualitative graph. And we have to describe what's happening, and it tells us that it's a city bus, and it's picking up passengers. So let's look. We see that it increase, constant, and decrease, and then another constant. So we have to figure out what's happening with the person that's driving the bus. So first we know, right here, it increases. And that's because the bus is leaving the bus stop. And then it drives for a while. Let's see, this is I, that's C for constant. Drives at a constant speed. And then it starts to decrease. And what might it be doing is it's going to come to a bus stop and pick up more passengers. So it then drives at a constant speed before slowing down to pick up passengers. And right here, where it's at another constant, that's where it stops to pick up the passengers. And then if you look, it's doing the same thing two more times. So we can simply say repeats 2 more times. Keywords are increases, constant, slowing down, or decreases, and then saying that it is repeating 2 more times. Question number 2, it says give the intervals of increase, decrease, and constant. That means we are looking at the domain or the x values. And so let's label our first graph. First, it is a constant, then a decrease, and then an increase. And remember, I only want to use the domain, so the numbers I choose are going to come from the red line. So I have all 3 things, so I'm going to write increase, decrease, and constant. And I'm going to start at the beginning. So a point starts right here, and if I go down to my red line, that is at the number -5. So for constant with brackets, we have -5, and it goes to this number, go down to the x values, and it's to 2. Then it goes to decrease, and it starts with the 2 and goes to the 3 on the x-axis. Then it finally increases, picking up with the 3 again, and going up to the 6. And that would be your answer for number 2. For number 3, if we label our graph, we have increase and decrease. And here's the point where it's changing. So I only need to list increase and decrease because that's all that's changing in the graph. And so here's my first point. And again, we have to use this x. So if I go up to the x, that is starting at the -5 for increase. So -5. And it goes all the way to the 0. Then it decreases from 0 to here, which if you go up to the x, is positive 5. And that is your answer for number 3. For question number 4, it's asking you to sketch the graph, and I'm giving you the intervals using the domain, and I'm going to start with the one that's the furthest to the left. So that would be the -5. So I'm going to choose anywhere. Here's -5. I can choose anywhere on the line. I'm going to choose here. So your graph doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but the pattern should be exactly like mine. So -5 to -3 is a constant, which means it goes at a constant rate. So here is my first constant. And then I have to find, so I'm going to check that one off. Then I have to find, if I stop at -3, which one starts at -3. I have to go to increasing next. So from -3 to 0, it's increasing, which simply means it has to go upward to the 0. I can check that one off. And then I have to find where 0 is. So I have to go to decreasing next. From 0 to 2, it decreases. So here's 2. So I'm going to make sure I decrease, and I'm going to go down to that point, and I can check that off. Stopped at 2, so I can go right here. I'm going to constant again to 4. Let's go straight across, 3, 4. Check that one, and then I'm going to the 4 to 5, and it has to show an increase. So I can go there. So as long as your graph goes constant, increase, decrease, constant, increase at the right intervals, you will get full credit for that. Number 5, the amount of money saved and the amount of time you can hold your breath. So if the amount of money saved increases, the amount of time you can hold your breath has no relationship. So that is a no correlation. Number 6, the amount of time at work increases. The amount of time in your family is going to decrease because you're not able to be home with them because you're at work. So because they are different, it is a negative correlation. And then finally, the temperature outside, if that increases, that means it's getting hot. So the number of the people at the pool will increase also. And so that would be a positive correlation. Question number 8 says, draw and write the equation for the line of best fit and answer the following question. I should say questions. So here's our scatter plots. And I'm going to go ahead and add a point because I know that if I play 0 games, I'll have 0 total points. So I can put a point there because I know that that's where my graph has to go through. And if I just look, I know that the pattern is going in this direction. That's the pattern of the trend. So I'm going to draw a line straight through there. And hopefully you would use a straight edge. Now I have to write the equation, so I need the M and the B. The M, I'm just going to choose 2 points on the line. Once I draw the line, I do not care about all of the points that are plotted. I only care about this red line. And I see that if the point goes through here, directly on an ordered pair, even though it's a point, it doesn't have to be one of the points that was plotted from the scatter plot. It just has to be. And if I divide that, it equals 3.75. Now I can choose one of my ordered pairs to substitute into y equals mx plus b to find the b for my equation. I'm going to choose 0, 0 because I think that's the easiest. So if I have y equals mx plus b, and my y, see, I have my x and my y. My y is 0 equals my m is 3.75 times x which is 0, plus b. So 0 equals 0 plus b, and I know then that 0 equals b. I already knew that because this is where it crosses the y-axis. So my equation would be y equals 3.75x plus 0, but I don't need the plus 0. So as long as you have an m that is similar to this amount, the 3.75, you will get an accurate conjecture for the next problem. So number 10 says make a conjecture, which is a prediction, about the points scored after 11 games. Now I could use my equation and do y equals 3.75 times 11. And if I do that, I would get the y equals 41.7.25. Mess that all up. 41.25. So I would say that it would give me about 41 points. That's if you use your equation. But I would also be able to use my graph. So if I look for 11, so this is 10, this is 11, right here. If I go up the graph, it's going to be somewhere around 45. So I would even accept 45 points as an answer. And those are both pretty close, so I know that I'm on the right track with my graph. For question number 11 through 15, you're going to be using the data of our studying and grades. So the first thing you need to do is plot the points on the graph. First, we need to label the different parts. So we have our studying is the x, so hours, and the y value is your grades. And for hours, because it goes 1 through 12, I can just number 1 through 12. And then I've already given you a clue on how to number the y-axis by tens. And then I'm going to pause it and go ahead and plot all of the ordered pairs. So there's my ordered pairs. And now I'm going to draw the line of best fit so that I can eventually write the equation. So a line of best fit simply says, what is a line that is a representation of the trend that's happening in the point? So I know it's going uphill, so I might start to find a pattern before I write on it. So it's going to go up like this, so maybe something like that. And it doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be close and show the trend, the pattern of the trend that's happening so that you can make conjectures or predictions. So let's look at question number 12. Interpret the graph. That is our as statement. So as the hours increases, hours studying increases, the grades increases. And then number 13, find and interpret the slope. That's going to be the m. So I have two ways that I can find the m. I can use the slope formula by picking 2 points on the graph, or I can make a right triangle by picking 2 points on the graph. When I pick 2 points on a graph, I do not have to use points that are on the plot. I don't have to use the red points. All I'm doing is writing the m for the line, the blue line that I drew. So I'm going to go through this blue line, and I'm going to look for points where it goes exactly through an ordered pair, and there's one. See, it doesn't even have to be one of the plotted points because we're just looking at the line. And here looks like another one that's good as well. So I can use those 2 points, 1, 40 and 8, 90. And I can plug those into y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 and get the slope. Or I can draw a right triangle and count to find the m. So I'm going to count for the rise. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is tens, so that's actually going to represent 50. And then for the run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my m is going to start out with 50 over 7. And I can simplify that by taking a calculator. I know it's going to be about 7, so I would do 50 divided by 7, and that gives me 7.1. I'm going to go ahead and just round it off to 7. So about 7 is a good slope for question number 13 for the scatter plot that we have. So I would accept anything from 5 to 7 would be okay. So 7 is the m, but it also says we have to interpret what that means. M is y over x. So y over x means y per x. The y is grades. So 7 grade increase per the y, or the x, which is the hour. So per hour. So every hour you study, every hour you add on that you're studying, you're going to go up 7 points. So that is our m and the interpretation. Number 14, find and interpret the y-intercept. That's the b. So for the b, I need to use y equals mx plus b and pick a point and use the m. So the point I'm going to choose is 1, 40. And so I have y equals mx plus b. The y is 40. The m is 7. X is 1 plus b. So 40 equals 7 plus b. And you would show the steps to subtract 7 from both sides. 40 minus 7 is 33. So 33 is the b, but it also says to interpret. Since the b is the y-intercept, we're looking at the grades. And the y-intercept is where it would cross at 0. And if you look, it's a really good estimation for the graph, for the line I drew, because that's where it's crossing. So that means at 0 hours of studying, I would probably get a 33 as my grade. So 33 grade with 0 hours studying. Something to that extent is fine. Then finally, write the equation for the line of best fit. We have the m and the b, so we simply have y equals 7x plus 33. All right, 16 through 18 are next. Question 16, it says use the Venn diagram below to complete a two-way frequency table for the information. So we're looking at chocolate and vanilla. So we have our two categories set up, chocolate, vanilla, no chocolate, no vanilla. And I'm going to start with the number 12. So 12 represents people that like chocolate. So we're going to go over to the chocolate column. But it's not including people that like vanilla. So the chocolate, no vanilla is going to be 12. So then I can do the number 9. That is both of them. So go to the chocolate vanilla box. And you have 9. 18 is vanilla, but no chocolate. So vanilla, no chocolate, which is 18. And then the last one, 7, is no chocolate, no vanilla. So no chocolate, no vanilla, and that box is right here. So after you get those, you just have to then find your totals. So we're going to add across, and it should also add up going vertically. So here are the totals. So I'm going to do the chocolate column first. 9 plus 12 is 21. 18 plus 7 is 25. And then I'm going to add up going horizontally. 9 plus 18 is 27. 12 plus 7 is 19. And then I can add either vertically or horizontally to get the final total. And I know that 46 is that answer. 46. And if I were to add 12 plus 9 plus 18 plus 7, I would get 46. And that's one way to check to see that my table is correct. For question number 17, it says, what is the percent? So I know I'm going to have to go all the way to the percent of the people who like both flavors. So we have both flavors. 2 is a special word because that tells me the order of my fraction. 2, the total number of people who only like chocolate. Only chocolate. So here is our fraction. We have both over only chocolate. And then we can look at our table. So both is going to be where we have chocolate and vanilla. So that's 9. So we have 9 over. And how many people only like chocolate? So if they only like chocolate, but they don't like vanilla, so chocolate, no vanilla. So 9 over 12. You would use your calculator to do 9 divided by 12, and you get 75 hundredths. We're looking for percent. So we have to multiply by 100 or move the decimal twice. So our answer is 75%. And question number 18, what is the relative frequency? So that means we're leaving it as a decimal of the people that like chocolate to, another special word, the people who like vanilla. So our word fraction is the people that like chocolate over the people that like vanilla. And because the chocolate over vanilla doesn't have anything to do with the other flavor, the people that like chocolate, let me change colors so you don't get confused. The people that like chocolate are going to be right here. So that's going to be 21 over the people that like vanilla are all of these people. So it's a total of 27 people. And if you punch that into your calculator, you get 0.78 as your answer. Now let's move on to the final questions, number 19 and 20. So number 19 says, there are 195 male and 126 female students at the junior high school. A survey showed that 110 males and 84 females ride the bus. Create a frequency table and answer the following questions. So I know from the beginning it says there are 195 males. Has nothing to do with the bus. So I'm going to go to males and go to the total and put 195. So I can check that number off. So then the next number is 126. 126 female students, period. That's how many female students are there. Has nothing to do with the bus. So it is also a total female 126. Then we have 110. 110 males ride the bus. So let's go to the males and go to bus and put 110. And then 84 females ride the bus. So once you have those numbers in, then you just have to do addition and subtraction to find the other missing numbers. So to do that, I'm going to do this total right here. 110 plus 84 is that total at the bottom, and that is 194. Then I can go to the males. 110 plus something has to equal 195. So I could do 195 minus 110 to get what I'm missing, which is 85. Then I could do 84 plus something equals 126. So I could do 126 minus 84 and get 42. Then I can just do simple addition. 85 plus 42 is 127. And then 195 plus 126 is 321. Number 20 says, what is the percentage of females that ride the bus? So females that ride the bus to, we like that word, males that do not ride the bus. So let's write our fraction. It's going to go in order of our sentence. So we have females that ride the bus over males that do not ride the bus. So this is including both categories, which means it's not going to be any of the totals. So for the numerator, we have females that ride the bus. So we're going to be looking at the females and the ones that ride the bus, which is 84. And then males that do not ride the bus, which is 85. If you use your calculator and you round correctly, you get 0.99 as your relative frequency. You're going to move the decimal over 2 places or multiply by 100, and that's going to give you 99% as your final answer. And this completes the Unit 6 study guide.